Hey guys, this is Rich Boy J here, also known as J Lego, and I'm really excited to show you guys my new Lego custom minifig scale AT-AT walker. Now this thing took me about a year to build. It has 5,000 to 6,000 pieces and it is huge. So the story behind this is that initially I just wanted to build an AT-AT walker that was good and looked nice in my minifig displays because I'm quite underwhelmed with the Lego AT-AT walkers that have been released. So I contacted Cave God about his because I thought it was, an amazing model to build, and if you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend you check that out. But I talked to him about it and he let me know that it was bigger than minifig scale, so I just decided I'd build my own because I don't really need a model that's bigger than minifig scale. So I built this. This thing has a full interior. It has an articulated head. It has lights all throughout the inside of it. It also has a motorized deployment cable function once you open up those side panels. And I really just wanted to make an AT-AT walker with no compromises because I've seen a lot of people do very good AT-AT exteriors and very good AT-AT interiors. But I've never really seen the best of both worlds all in one model. And if I'm going to spend a lot of time and money building something like this, I definitely want to do everything with it. I don't want to have any regrets or wish I had added something else in. So let's get some shots of the exterior first, and I'm going to break this thing open and show you guys the inside. I was really happy with the greebling and how it came out in that back section right there. That was actually really fun to build. Got the legs. They are locked in place. I realized that this model is really heavy, probably too heavy to use any of Lego's hinges and have it be able to still stand up properly. And I also realized that if I really wanted the legs to be articulated, the thing's so heavy I wouldn't be picking it up very often and moving the legs around. So it didn't really make sense to have the legs be able to move. But they are locked in, and I think that serves the overall model much better. Then also the head can move around, as seen in the movies. So yeah, even though I didn't build Cave God's exact model, I'm sure you noticed that a lot of the elements and techniques used on this are designed by his model, because it's really a beautiful model and a lot of things he just got right. Didn't really make sense to try to figure out another way to do it. So now I'm going to open this thing up for you guys and show you the inside. Now this thing is pretty true to the original, AT-AT model. I looked up the cross-section for the AT-AT that's in the movies, and this is as close to it as I could get it. There are a few omissions, but for the most part, everything's here. So we're going to start from the back. Now this is kind of like a speeder bay garage. As you can see, there's an Imperial technician working there in the back. And you can actually pull all of these speeders out. These are the speeders that are in, they've been used pretty widespread over Lego sets. There, with that removed, you can get a better look at it. So yeah, this is probably my favorite section of the entire ship, just because with the way the speeder bikes kind of fit in there and they're all closed up, I think it makes for some really good pictures. Because I think, it just makes sense. It makes sense for these to be right here in the AT-AT. So now for the middle section. At the top, it's really just a seating area. There's an Imperial officer standing right there. Snow Trooper right there getting some sleep. Getting ready for his impending doom. Got the guns hanging on the walls. And then there's also a ladder in the back that goes from the top floor to the bottom floor. You can see he's carrying it. And of course some yellow caution tape there just so you know when the hole starts and you don't fall through. This on the wall right here is actually the E-Web gun that the Snow Troopers use. And it can be taken off and reassembled. It's basically just the same E-Web from the most recent Snow Speeder set. So you could take that out and the gun as well and assemble the entire thing. And I imagine that this is, probably what they had here in the AT-AT, because when they try to capture Han Solo, they put the entire thing together in Echo Base. So you could do that little play feature. And then at the bottom here, there's just a little standing area for the Imperial officers and snow troopers. I got some jumper plates here just so I can have some snow troopers lined up standing at the door when it's open, like they're going into battle. And then right here there's also a sliding door, so it's kind of hard to get to. You really can only use it when the ship's wide open, but you can use that and you can slide it open and closed. Got the Imperial officer standing there in the middle of everything, and then towards the front, once again, there's just more seating, and of course, lights that go throughout the entire thing. Now, at the top section on the front, there's a little backpack and gun rack, so I imagine that, they're probably not wearing those backpacks all the time, or they could be, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I thought it was a cool addition to the ship, have a little backpack rack. I really just tried to envision everything that would be in an AT-AT walker, so any little accessories that I could add in, I thought those would really fit well in the ship. So now for the front, you can see General Veers is standing here, meticulously watching these two AT-AT pilots, and of course there's the hologram there. Now that's supposed to be Vader, but there's no really good, well, there isn't a hologram Lego piece for Vader yet, so I just used the Emperor's hologram piece. But for what it is, I think it works. And of course, you have the Snow Trooper commander standing there right behind them. And I think this is a really cool place as well because you can get some really good scenes and pictures for the scenes when General Veers is standing there with the Snow Trooper behind him. Really like that part of the ship a lot. I'm going to show you guys the power functions. So if you want to get to the guts of this thing, you open up this little panel right here, and then there's a red switch right there. You can turn that on, and that initiates the battery pack, so then the lights are on, as you can see right there on the inside. And then you just peel this section off right here. I experimented with integrating an IR sensor, but then I realized that there was really just no space for it. This thing is really packed. There's no wasted space in this model at all. So I didn't really have the room to do that. But what you do is you pull out the deployment cable from the body. And also with this door on the side, I really put that there as kind of a way to recreate the scene where Luke turns himself into Vader and then the Imperial officer walks him across the walkway on the indoor platform. So if I'd ever decide to build another one of these, I'll definitely do an indoor platform to kind of go with it. So once you have the guy pulled out, you can use the power functions to let him down. And then it can come back up. And guys, that concludes this video. I really appreciate you for checking out this model. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I'm very happy with the way it came out. And I'm hoping you guys get some enjoyment from it as well. I'm sure you noticed there's a lot going on with the scenery that's for this display. I'd like to make a second video for that, just kind of go over it, because there's a lot of little Easter eggs and features in that I think deserve their own light in their own video. But if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can get updated on all of my mocks that I do, as well as my Lego related projects. Have a lot of cool stuff coming up. This is my first really huge model. I started it essentially from the ground up with the LDD file, then getting the parts for it. And I like to continue that because I think that allows for you to make some really cool things. Next, I really want to do a Millennium Falcon, but that's such an involved project. I know that's going to take some time. So if you want to see, the things that I build throughout the week, you can check me out at flickr.com/JLego. That's JHAE Lego. And I post a lot of pictures there of things that I'm building, little projects that I have that maybe don't really deserve an entire video made for them. But cool stuff nonetheless. So once again, thanks for stopping by, guys. See you later.